Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So we got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the ark pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the outlaws who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Solano Camp coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification. Lord's willing, this be edifying. Now, tie this lesson, update, one day closer to World War III. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain. I do not own the copyright to these videos. This is for educational purposes only, Lord willing, this be edifying. And I did a lesson about a month ago on the title of the video was how North America pulled their missiles from Saudi Arabia. They pulled out the missile defense system from Saudi Arabia, which is one of the allies of North America. Now here's a new clip I just saw last night. The brother China is measured out the time diligently, and he put a clip up from RT News about 4 minutes. So I went back and found the videos that I did a lesson on about a month ago, dealing with how North America pulled their missiles out of Saudi Arabia, and it was showing how Putin, the president of Russia, and the president of Syria is joining together, because as it says in Ezekiel 38, Putin shall be, it say Russia shall be a guard to these nations. So I'm going to pull these clips, and I'm going to get some precepts. And I have 6 clips I'm going to use. They're real short, ain't that long. So, Lord willing, if you bear with me, Lord willing, you can get some edification out of this, because this is another step closer to World War III, man. So this first one, and pull this one first. Make sure it's sharing. Get his volume together. So check this out. So this is one of the ones that I used about a month ago.
I want to show you right now exactly what it is that opportunity looks like. And that's it. See that? That is the president of Russia. He's the shorter guy on the right of your screen, with the president of Syria. That's the chinless guy on the left of your screen. They are meeting, and it's an important meeting. And I'm going to take you through what they are discussing in just a moment. But first, let's discuss the vacuum or the situation that has caused their meeting. And there it is. It's Afghanistan. And do you see it right there on the map? Not far from Iraq. So if the U.S. is all but out of Iraq, and now they are out of Afghanistan, we have to ask the question, is it an opportunity for others, like, let's say, President Putin and Russia? But let's expand the map if we could. I want to include something else. See that right there? That is Syria. Syria, right? And Syria, because interestingly enough, the U.S. has created vacuums in Iraq and Afghanistan, and it may be about to do the same in Syria. Why? Because, yes, the U.S. is still in the north part of the country where the oil fields are, but it may be starting to pull some troops out of the country as well. In fact, here is what the Biden administration is now saying that they're doing in Syria. It says it will keep a relatively small force. Look how creative that looks. Relatively small force, says the White House, to protect and possibly reclaim the oil fields in the country. But there are also concerns among some that the United States is going to scale back troops, as it seems to be doing throughout the Middle East, right? In some of the reporting that we did for you yesterday. That is why President Putin is meeting with President Assad of Syria to continue their long-standing relationship and discuss new possibilities when it comes to both the changing political situation in Syria and any potential U.S. exit, which may arise there as well. Now, would that create an opportunity for Russia to move in and take charge of what has long been an unstable situation between Syria, the U.S., and Turkey? Don't forget, Turkey's there as well inside Syria. So we're going to drill down on all of this as the Middle East appears to be recreating itself these days before our very eyes, and as the U.S. refocuses toward China. All this right here on the News with Rick Sanchez. Smart TV, because we believe it's time to do news again. Okay, so these are the questions that we think you will be asking. First, is the U.S. opening the door for Russia in Syria? If not now, soon? California is one of the biggest economies in the entire world. But are they going to have a governor soon, or a different governor? And is Facebook allowing Instagram to harm young girls? That's an important story. All right, we're going to begin with the situation in Syria, as there is a sign that the U.S. may diminish its presence there as well. Not exactly enough to walk away from these very lucrative oil fields that we've long coveted there, but certainly a shift away from the full participation that we've been seeing in the last decade. And that is making Russian President Putin stand up and take notice. Not one to ever miss a beat when opportunity strikes, Mr. Putin. He is meeting directly with the president of Syria as of this morning. Here's correspondent John Huddy.
So looking for the infomercial.
You're not Julius Caesar, okay?
No, I'm not.
Russian President Vladimir Putin and Syrian President Bashar al-Assad sat down for a meeting Monday in Moscow to discuss, among other things, both countries' mutual interests. The Russian president also making a point about foreign forces in Syria.
The main problem, in my opinion, is that foreign forces are present in parts of the country without permission from the United Nations and without your permission. This clearly violates international law.
While Putin did not name any particular country, it's clear he was referring to the United States and Turkey. The United States has 900 troops in Syria to, according to U.S. officials, both prevent a resurgence of ISIS and help protect oil fields in Syria's eastern region. President Trump in 2020 pulled U.S. forces out of northern Syria in a contentious plan to remove America's troops from the country, but under Pentagon pressure, kept some U.S. troops on the ground to work with Syrian Democratic forces and to also protect the Conoco oil fields near the city of Deir ez-Zor, known as the Green Valley or Green Village oil fields. It's along the eastern Euphrates and also close to the Iraqi border, allowing the U.S. to keep an eye on the Syria-Iraq border and Iran's influence in the region as well. Turkish forces, meanwhile, are in the northern and northwest part of the country, helping anti-Assad rebel factions in the country's long-running and brutal civil war. How long the U.S. remains in Syria, though, is certainly a question being raised once again in light of America's withdrawal from Afghanistan. The Biden administration is seemingly scaling back the U.S.'s footprint and involvement in parts of the Middle East region to potentially redeploy assets to protect the United States against what the White House sees as a growing Chinese threat. Whether or not that means pulling America's remaining troops out of Syria remains to be seen. Syria views U.S. and Turkish forces as illegal occupiers and Russian forces as welcome guests there at the government's invitation. President Assad also thanked Russia for its help lending assistance and resources to Syria in its ongoing fight against the COVID-19 virus. And speaking of which, President Putin announced Tuesday, a day after his meeting with Assad, that he was going into quote-unquote self-isolation after several members of his inner circle tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. For the news with Rick Sanchez, John Huddy.
Yeah, that's interesting, John. I saw that in the report this morning as well, which is kind of an interesting caveat. I want to bring in Dan Kovalik. He is a author of No More War, How the West Violates International.
Now, you see, the point is about Putin, man. The prophecy about Russia being a guard to these other nations.
National law by using humanitarian intervention to advance economic and strategic interests. Professor Kovalik also teaches human rights at the University of Pittsburgh, and we're too happy to have him. So what do you think is going on right now in Syria, Professor? Is the United States trying to make some kind of retrenchment? And what does Putin have in mind?
Well, I think there is some evidence that the U.S. is trying to pull out of Syria. Right now, the U.S. occupies about a third of Syrian territory. As you mentioned, it is the most oil-rich part of Syria. It's also the most grain-rich, has the most fertile soil, also the huge water reserves, which, by the way, it should be noted that the U.S. has been plundering in violation of international humanitarian law. But it's very clear, look, the Syrian government doesn't want the U.S. there. The Syrian people don't want the U.S. there. There have been attacks by Syrians against the occupation forces in the part being occupied by the United States. So I do think that Biden may want a way out of this. But as you say, in a way that will still allow the U.S. to access that oil, again, quite illegally. The U.S. is not there by invitation. They are engaged in a war crime by stealing Syrian oil, but that is still part of the game plan.
So what do you think? Putin said that, by the way. What you just said is what Putin said during his news conference. You probably saw that in John Huddy's report, that the United States was not invited there. Therefore, they and probably Turkey should both leave. What can he do, though? What do you think is the Putin strategy here?
Well, I've been to Syria twice this year. In fact, you see the mosaic behind me. It has the Syrian and Russian flag, and it says, "Thanks, Russia." I think that from all the discussions I had with people in the Syrian government, and I think it reflects also what the Russians are thinking, they view the occupation of Syria by the United States, by Turkey, and by terrorist forces in Idlib as a political issue. That is to say, they don't consider it a military issue. They are not going to force the U.S. and Turkey out of Syria by military means. They know they have to do it through political means and negotiations, and I think that is the plan. But that is the plan, to get them out, but through political and diplomatic means.
Do you expect to see the Russians escalate militarily in any way? Do you see or smell any signs of that?
I mean, I think for the large part, no. They certainly would never attack the United States forces in Syria. They would not attack Turkish forces. They may attack, again, these terrorist groups in Idlib. Just so people know, Idlib is north of Damascus. And what happened during the conflict, the 10-year conflict, is that these jihadist groups, which the U.S. backed, Turkey backed, Israel backed, Saudi Arabia backed, when the Syrian forces, with the help of the Russians, would capture these jihadist forces, they gave them a choice: either go to jail or we'll take you to Idlib. So in Idlib, there's thousands of terrorists living there now. That is a place the Russians may decide to attack, but they will never attack Turkey, never attack the U.S. They will find a diplomatic solution out of this situation.
Professor, you are so...
And that's just for now. That's just for now. Because as it's saying, when you read Revelation 11, let me get rid of this. When you read Revelation 11, it reads this. It's like Revelation 17. See, things, the elect got to be sealed, man. When the elect gets sealed, that's when it's going to get real. And this lesson is about the prophecy of Putin, man, being a guard to these other nations. Because I got 5 more clips I'm going to show you. And it's, at the same time, show you the separation of Babylon the Great, NATO, and EU, man. This is Revelation 17 and verse 17. And power have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. So that's why that guy said he don't think Russia's going. No, well, things got to be fulfilled first, man, and then it say for power have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of powers shall be fulfilled. So once the elect gets sealed, that's when things gonna. That's when everything gonna come to play, man, and it's gonna come to play speedily, man. I was gonna get another precept before I play this next clip. Let me see. Again, Revelation 17 and 17, for power have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom to the beast until the words of power shall be fulfilled. This is Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So what's going on? The Lord is playing chess, man. These are strategic chess moves being made. So let me pull this other clip, which is going to lead me all the way up to the one that I saw this morning. Well, actually yesterday, from that brother, the brother page is measured at a time diligently, and he always putting up news clips of what's going on. Now, this is from this one chick page. And she could be a Jake. I don't know. Her name is Dina Amelia Carmeta. And she always going in information. So it say, I usually do lessons on her. I ain't did that in a while, but this title that she got, it say, North and South Korea conduct dueling missile tests as arms race heats up. Arm race for what? With missiles. For World War III, man. See why Jake over here playing games. You got these devils pushing the Jabberwocky, right? Which is a prelude to the Karagma. You got uproars of the people all around the world, man. All these things is playing out, and Jake sitting around here thinking this is a game, man. It's a North and South Korea conduct dueling missile tests as arm race heats up. So the title she put is South and North Korea fires missiles. It say US, UK, Australia will form nuclear pact against China. General, right? Now, you come back to me. I just want to show that. Because it's a separation going on, man, on the earth, man. Now, this is from this guy, Jesse Ventura. And you know him from the movie. He was in the movie, this movie, Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So check this out. I'm gonna play some of this. The title is Geopolitics Shift as US Angers EU Allies. And as it said in Revelation 17 and 7, Revelation 17 and 16, and we keep going over this over and over because these things is happening, man. Prophecy is playing out. This is Revelation 17 and verse 16. It reads, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. Who are the 10 horns? The EU nations, man. It's a geopolitics shift as US angers EU allies. Revelation 17 and 16. See, that's why we watch these world newses and filter it through the scriptures because it's already here, man. It was already written. This is a movie that we're watching. Yahweh Shema Shah created the movie, man. But we here watching it. And the only one that can see what's going on is the ones that have this eyes off, man. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Now, the whole thing about that Brexit was EU separating from North America, man. But they still join together, man. This is the confusion. That's why I say this devil, everywhere he go, he brings confusion. Because they still have to be under the will and power of Yahweh Shema Shai until the words of Yahweh Shema Shai be fulfilled. So let's play some of this.
Hi, I'm Brigida Santos for our top story today. France has recalled its ambassadors to the United States and Australia in protest of a new security pact between the two countries and the United Kingdom. Under the new US, UK, Australia partnership known as AUKUS, Washington and London will help Canberra acquire nuclear-powered submarines to counter China, effectively canceling Australia's $90 billion contract to buy diesel-powered submarines.
Now see, this guy on the screen that Biden is looking at, this is, I forgot his name, but he's over, I ain't gonna say over, but he's with the EU nations, man. Right? And they had a whole thing about EU separating. I think it was it last year, 2019, 2020, 2019, I think it was, when it was kicking off. How the EU nations, the whole Brexit situation. But they still together, man. But they separate at the same time. This is the confusion. Because it is saying in the scriptures, in Daniel 2 and 43, it say that the seed of the wicked shall mingle with the sons of men, but they shall not cleave one to another. What they're doing, this is them still mingling until the words of Yahweh Shema Shai being fulfilled. Listen to some of this.
From France. French officials have responded with outrage, describing the secret deal as a, quote, stab in the back, and likening the Biden's, quote, brutal, unilateral, and unpredictable decision to the actions of the Trump administration. Jesse, typically countries remove ambassadors from the territories of their adversaries, not their oldest military and strategic allies. What do you make of this news?
Well, first of all, I got to go back to the iconic Bob Dylan. The times they are a-changin', as Mr. Dylan so eloquently wrote in that song. The times are a-changin'. You know, when you look at the situation in the world today, you got the European Union, you got Britain pulled out of it, you got us, and then, of course, you got the military-industrial complex of the world out there. So, Brigida, until we change our thought process, going out in the world and man killing man, and us continuing to do it, us meaning human beings of the planet, we have to kill each other, so we need military and we need weapons and we need arms to achieve that success. Well, things like this are going to happen because it's already proven the military-industrial complex has a grip on America's economy, and it has a grip on France's economy, and it has a grip on all economies. Economies today are based so much on military hardware that if a deal like this happens, it throws the economy out of sync. And until we stop waging war upon each other throughout the world and continue to kowtow to the military-industrial complex, this is the kind of problems you're going to have.
Yes, and the military-industrial complex does have a hold on all these countries. In fact, France is now the European Union's top military power. Now that Britain has exited the EU, which you just mentioned, it's slowly been pushing other European countries to seek military and strategic independence from Washington. And last week, in response to the U.S. pullout in Afghanistan.
See, that's what I was saying. Britain, that's what the Brexit was about, man. This is the Lord moving these chess pieces, man. These nations is separated from Babylon the Great, man.
Afghanistan, the European Commission president called on the EU to join forces and create a pan-European military that can carry out its own defense policy without US-led NATO. French President Emmanuel Macron has also said that the EU should improve relations with Russia, which is now delivering natural gas to...
See, there it is. You see? See, you can't make this up, man. These nations, EU is trying to, hey, that's why Revelation 17 and 16, man, and the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. You see, this is the Lord moving these chess pieces beautifully, man, strategically. And we sitting here watching it play out, man.
Germany and Europe via Moscow's Nord Stream 2 pipeline. We're witnessing a geopolitical shift, especially as countries respond to the growing influence of China, very similar to the shift we saw during the Cold War.
Absolutely, Brigitte.
And see, mentioning about that Gulf Stream North 2 pipeline, man. That's Denmark. Denmark is a part of that. Okay? With Russia making this pipeline, man. Denmark is a part of the EU nations, man. So these people, as it said, Daniel 2. Matter of fact, let me read that. This is Daniel 2. This is prophecy, man. This is what we looking for. This is what we dealing with. This is what we waiting on, man. Prophecy is to be fulfilled. And Yahweh Shema Shai is bringing them to pass every day, man. While Jake's sitting around playing games, trying to chase the bag, trying to get real estate license, and trying to still chase masters and bachelors and associate degrees, the world is collapsing, man. This is Daniel 2. I'm reading the point. This is Daniel 2 and 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, which is talking about North America, Babylon the Great, EU and NATO, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, this is the feet of the statue that Daniel saw. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. Who? Who shall mingle themselves with the feet of men? It's talking about North America, Babylon the Great, the revised Roman Empire. They shall mingle themselves with the seeds of men, which is the other 16 heathen nations, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is mixed, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay. You see, even as iron is not mixed with clay. This is what's going on, man. The separation. This is the Lord moving these chess pieces, man. Hey, and everything gonna hit at one time. At one time, it's gonna be Jacob Trouble, the Quran being made mandatory, World War III, man, and Yahweh Shah's return. Let's listen to some more of this.
And it makes sense when you look at Europe and the fossil fuel industry before we can all switch over away from that dirty industry. And it's going to take decades to do that. It stands to reason Europe would do business with Russia. It's much closer by. It's probably cheaper. Everything says that's the right thing to do. But again, we got to look at the situation of us being the world's policeman and us being the world's controller of the military and all of that type of stuff. And when you look at the situation where the United States has military personnel in literally almost 150 countries throughout the world, and there's only about 190 some in the whole world. So literally 3 out of 4 countries in the world have occupied U.S. military there. So that is part of us being the world's policemen. And if things like this can help end us as being the world's policemen, I'm all for it, because I oppose the fact that we are the world's policemen and we're put into a situation like this, an economic situation, and it's all due to what? The military-industrial complex and war machines and weapons that can literally throw the country into chaos. It's ridiculous, and we need to take a new look at where we stand in the world and what the world situation is going to be in the future.
We now turn to the global supply chain, which is strained due to the pandemic. Factories have shuttered around the world in places where cheap commodities are produced and raw materials are extracted. The price of cars and electronics have increased due to chip shortages. The cost of food and other goods, from medicine to curtains, buttons, and cans, are also rising. And there's even a shortage of carbon dioxide, threatening to stop food and drink production. Ships, planes, trucks, and other delivery vessels simply cannot keep up with consumer demand right now, all in time for the busy holiday season. Jesse, 2 years ago, a 40-foot container transporting goods from Asia to America cost $2,000, whereas today it costs upward of $25,000 to ensure on-time delivery. And of course, consumers are now being hit in the wallet to pay for those costs.
Well, what you're looking at here is globalism at probably its worst. And what it's going to do, again, I'll go to iconic Bob Dylan, the times they are a-changing. It's going to force, I think, a change in the world to, as you said, localism. Globalism's taking a hit here because of the pandemic, and it's forcing localism to reemerge. In other words, creating things locally that right now you get internationally. Internationally is suffering right now. It's causing inflation to go through the roof. Everybody's paying more and more and more, and jobs have been lost. This is going to cause a major shift back to locals creating again, and it could be a blow to globalism, which I know a lot of people would love to see that happen. I'm not so sure. I think you have to satisfy both ends, globalism as well as localism, kind of like capitalism and socialism. You have to find a common in the middle that supplies both. But right now, globalism is getting hit hard. Why? Because of the pandemic. And why is that? Because idiots out there won't listen to science, and the pandemic continues on and on and on.
That's enough of that. Hey, we had to take the meat from the bones, man. That was the point. You hear it, man. Hey, these nations. Let me get these other clips, man. So these things, hey, these prophecies is playing out, man. World War III is brewing up. And if you can't see it, hey, you got a problem. Now, let me pull this. It's beautiful, man. So check this out. Let me play this.
Turkey was considered an important ally of the United States. Ankara was an integral part of the F-35 stealth fighter jet program. Erdogan paid over $1.4 billion for the F-35 in 2019. However, they struck a low point ever since Turkey.
U.S. opposes Turkey and Russia defense gathering that they got going on, man. Hey, and Turkey was with U.S., man. You see, this is the Lord, man. Obadiah 1:7, which I'm going to read, man. They that was of the confederacy of Esau, Edom, man. These nations is separated, man. Now they hot with this guy, this president of Turkey, which I got another clip. I got to sit down with him. He gonna go into it, man. Check this out, man. Hey, the Lord cold, man. While Jake sit around playing games, man, we about to be out of here. These things is moving quick, man.
His deal with Russia. Trump warned Turkey that US will scrap the deal if Turkey continued to engage with Russia. Washington then imposed sanctions on Turkey's defense industry over the S-400 missile defense system. So what troubled the US, and why did they pull out of the F-35 deal? Now, Washington feared that Russia could use the S-400 to acquire classified information, and Turkey's F-35 deal to acquire classified information as well. The deal.
And this ain't old, man. This video here from September the 25th. All these videos that I'm playing is from September the 24th to the date, man. This is right now, man.
Could further expose and pose risk to the US and NATO's defense system. The procurement of S-400s also provides substantial funds to Russia's defense sector. Besides this, US thinks they cannot engage an S-400 in itself, as it is made to destroy US-made aircraft. Ankara signed the S-400 deal with Russia in 2017. They received 4 missile batteries for $2.5 billion. Apart from this, Turkey began its military incursion to fight against US-allied Kurdish forces in Syria in October last year. This came after Trump attempted to withdraw US troops in the fall of 2019. Since then, Erdogan has repeatedly asserted that he prefers pullout of 900 US troops from the northern part of Syria. Washington has since become reluctant to sell the US Patriot air defense system to Turkey. The S-400 surface-to-air defense system is one of the most advanced in the world. It is commonly known as Triumph in Russia and Growler by NATO members. These missiles have a range of over 400 kilometers. In contrast, the American advanced F-35 fighter jets can...
Now, these missiles can go over 400, he said 400 miles, man. What you think going to happen when that day, when the word say Yahweh Shema shots fulfilled, man? These missiles is prepared, being made ready to be shot all the way over here to North America, man.
only fire one missile at a time, and those missiles have a shorter range than the S-400. As of now, Russia and Turkey are in the final stage of negotiations on the S-400 systems. Erdogan and Russian President Vladimir Putin are scheduled to meet on the 29th of September in Sochi, Russia. The Sochi summit will be a crucial point of development for both.
And that's today, man. And I got a clip from today.
Turkey and Russia, as both the nations will focus on the strengthening of defense system for a political solution in Syria and the ongoing terrorist threat and migration crisis in Afghanistan.
Now, this guy, Putin, the first clip I played, he was shaking hands with Syria, man. Right? And he's sitting down with Turkey. Let me pull this. Now listen to what this Turkey president says, man, about Babylon the Great. This is serious, man. Listen to what he say.
You're part of NATO, as is the United States. The Russian government says that Turkey plans to continue buying their missile defense systems, the S-400s. The U.S. says it's a threat to this country, to the entire Western alliance. Why do you continue to go through with this? Did President Biden ask you to stop?
Ben Başkan Biden'a gerekenlerin hepsini
I
söyledim.
explained everything to President
Her şeyden
Biden.
önce şu anda da
And
aracılığınızla şunu söyleyeyim.
through you, I would like to once again state the
Bakın biz
following.
F-35 uçaklarını
We were
aldık ve 1
acquiring
milyar 400 milyon
F-35
dolar ödeme
aircrafts,
yaptık.
and we've paid $1.4 billion.
Fakat bizim bu 1 milyar 400 milyon dolar
But
ödeme yaptığımız
the
uçaklarımızı
$1.4 billion
Amerika bize teslim etmedi.
of payments which were
Patriotlar noktasında
delivered in
bunları
return for
istedik.
the F-35s
Maalesef bu konuda da yine aynı
led us
şekilde
to such a
bize
situation
Patriot
that we
vermedi.
never got the F-35s.
Sayın
And we
Trump'ın
requested
döneminde de
to acquire
bunları
Patriots,
görüştüğümüzde,
but we were never
konuştuğumuzda
given Patriots.
Sayın Trump
And when
şunu
we
söyledi.
were talking to President
Yani
Trump about these issues way back
F-35'ler
when,
için
he said the
1
following.
milyar 400 milyon dolar ödeme yapan
Well,
Türkiye'ye
Turkey has paid $1.4 billion for
niçin
35s, and why are we not
Bunu
giving them
dünya basının önünde
F-35s?
söyledi.
And he said this right in front of the
Peki
entire world
benim şu
press.
anda bu 5 tane uçağım niye verilmiyor?
And why the
Bu
5
parayı ben
aircrafts
ödedim.
are not still
Ödediğim
being
para
delivered? I paid my
ortadayken
They're not
dues.
being delivered because you purchased the S-400s, and the United States has said
ona
that this
karışamaz.
would be a
Ona,
risk.
ona karışamaz.
Well,
Ona karışamaz.
nobody can interfere with
Siz
that.
bana Patriot
You're not
vermeyeceksiniz
going to give me
ve
Patriots,
savunma noktasında
and in terms
benim
of
bir başka ülkeden
defense,
alacağım herhangi
But
bir savunma
you-
sistemine
I'm going to
müdahale edemezsiniz.
possibly acquire
Bakın bu
defense
konuda
systems from another country, and
NATO
nobody can
Genel
get
Sekreteri
involved in this.
Stoltenberg
Stoltenberg
gayet güzel bir
of the
açıklama
NATO
yaptı.
Secretary General
Ve dedi
came up
ki,
with the best
biz
statement, and he
ortaklarımızın
said, quote,
kimden, nereden,
we
ne
can't
kadar
do anything
herhangi bir
about
sistem
what our
satın
partners
aldığına
or where
müdahale
our partners
edemeyiz.
going
Kim
to
bu?
buy their defense systems,
Stoltenberg.
and they could
NATO'nun
never
genel
interfere with
sekreteri.
that, was what he
Buyurun.
said. This is
Gerçek
NATO
ortada.
Secretary General Stoltenberg.
But after the United States government says to you that this is a security risk for the United States and for the entire Western alliance, can't you understand that America has a hard time trusting you after that?
kusura bakmasın. Ben de şunu
Well,
söyleyeceğim.
sorry then.
Şunu söyleyeceğim.
This is what I'm going to
Türkiye'nin
say
güvenlik
in
riskini
return.
kim
Who
paylaşacak?
is going to share our
Türkiye kendi
security
güvenlik
risks?
riskini kendisi temin edemezse
How are we going
acaba
to
birilerinin
take the
eline
necessary
avucuna mı
measures
bakacak?
for security
Sen
risks?
bana
Are
Patriot
we going to keep
vermeyeceksin.
on
Benim hangi
expecting
ülkeden
deliveries of
hangi
weapons
savunma
from
sistemini
the
aldığıma da
countries that
müdahale
wouldn't give
edeceksin.
us those
Böyle bir şey
weapons
olamaz.
or
But don't
those
you
defense
trust your own
systems?
Air Force?
Nasıl? Sadece hava kuvvetleri bu işe
It's not
yetmez.
about the Air Force.
Savunma
It's not
sistemleri
just Air
farklıdır.
Force. Defense systems
Hava
are
kuvvetleri
one thing.
farklıdır.
Air Force is another
Çünkü
thing.
şu anda
Because
hava kuvvetleri
right now,
noktasında
in
da
terms of Air Force,
belki yarın Amerika'nın F-16'ların
maybe
devamını sürdüreceğine
the
elimizde
United
benim bir
States
garanti var mı?
won't maintain the F-16
Böyle
program.
bir garantide
I don't have
olmayacağına
such a
göre
guarantee that the
belki o
Americans
zaman
will
biz
continue
çok
with
daha
the
farklı adımları
F-16
da atmak
provision.
zorunda kalacağız.
If that will be interrupted, then we will be forced to take other measures.
So it sounds like you still intend to buy another round of these S-400s, of these Russian missile systems.
Biz bundan sonraki dönemde de kimse
In the
bizim
future, nobody
savunma
will be
sistemleri
able to
noktasında
interfere in
hangi
terms
ülkeden
of what
ne
kind
kadar
of defense
ne
systems we
alacağımıza
acquire
müdahale edemez.
from which country at
Bunun
what level.
kararını verecek
Nobody
olan
can interfere
biziz.
with that. We are the only
Şu
ones
anda
to make
84
such
milyon
decisions.
nüfusu olan bir
We
ülke
are a
Türkiye
country
So
kendi
the
with
sanctions will
savunma
84
stay on.
million
noktasındaki
inhabitants,
bütün
and
kararlılığını
we are
ortaya
very
koyacaktır. Bu
resolute in
kararına da
terms of
kimse
our
müdahale
defense systems and
edemez.
the necessary measures to be taken, and nobody can interfere with that.
That sounds like a yes.
Ne demek? Tabii ki evet.
Of course, yes.
Now you see, and man, it ain't just him. All these nations is thinking like this. Why? Babylon the Great have been the bully over the four corners of the earth, man, since they've been in power. These nations is tired of them, man. They sick of them. They sick of the bully. And I always say this, man. You only can bully for so long. Somebody at school is gonna whoop that ass, man. It's only so long you're gonna go around the school taking Jake lunch money, taking Jake and Heathen's lunch money, man. It's only so long the Lord gonna let you do that, man. Then all of a sudden, here comes somebody that's gonna whoop that ass, man. All the time. I done seen it many times over, man. Growing up, the bully always get his ass beat, man. Every time. I don't care how swole you is, how much weight you can lift, it doesn't matter, man. These nations is pissed off. If he pissed off, the other nations pissed off, man. And we know it. When you go to Google and type in Babylon the Great's wicked reign, 239 years, 222 of them has been in war, bloodshed, pillaging and plundering the earth, man, which is their blessing. But the nations is tired of it, man. So the Lord is setting up a cruel Lord, a fierce king, as it says in Isaiah 19, that's going to destroy these devils, man. And it's who? It's their brothers, their cousins, man. The Gog and Magog, man. This is Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, meaning their missiles, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. Just like you did to so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, it's gonna be done to you, man. As it say in Jeremiah 51, it say in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when power overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, when you go to Jeremiah 51, because it say Esau, Edom, they regard us, not the old, the young, right? This is Jeremiah 51 and 24. It reads, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all the evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So everything these devils did to us, they finna get it 1,000 times worse, man. It tell you that in Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 22. Let me get that. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and 22. It reads, therefore, whereas thou doest chasten us, thou scourge our enemies 1,000 times more, to the intent, when we judge, we shall carefully think of thy goodness, and when we ourselves are judged, we shall look for mercy. But these devils is about to get it 1,000 times more, man. With who? Their own brethren, man. Isaiah 19:2, the Lord said he will do what? It shall be Egyptian against the Egyptian, man. And this is what's going on. Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Why? For putting your hands on the apple of the Lord's eye, man. You got to pay for that. Let me pull this other clip, man. I got two more. Hey, this is beautiful, man. The Lord is moving these chess pieces strategically, man. So this is the one from today, or from yesterday, Salakia. Hey, cause they hot with Turkey, man. And Turkey is a part of EU and NATO, man. Let me see. I don't know. I think I played this already. Yeah, I played that. Salakia. Let me come back. Actually, let me get rid of that. Let me pull this last one. This is the one from yesterday. So check this out.
You know, there is something kind of weird that's taking place in Turkey. President Erdogan seems to be spending money left and right on weapons. He's offering billions to get stealth fighters, Patriot missiles from the United States. That's not going so well, but he's already got some. He's also buying a second Russian missile system, despite objections, of course, from NATO. According to Erdogan, nobody has the right to tell him or to tell Turkey what they can buy or from whom they can buy it. Mike Maloof, former Pentagon official, is good enough to join us now to talk about this kind of strange thing. I guess I just have to ask, what is Erdogan up to?
Well, he's trying to assert himself and his country's independence. He has his own agenda, and he doesn't want to be told as a leader of a sovereign country what to do, and he doesn't feel that NATO countries have a right to interfere in his national interest.
I almost thought you were going to say when I asked you the first question, well, that's just Erdogan being Erdogan, because he is a differentiator, really, when we compare him to other leaders. But let me ask you this question. As it's been explained to me, Russian military weapons are not compatible with NATO military weapons. So if he ends up with a Patriot system and a Soviet defense system, how the hell are those things going to work together?
Well, he wouldn't have bought the S-400 and now the follow-on system if the United States was a little more forthcoming with the Patriots. There's a rule in NATO.
And see, that's why you got to pick the meat from the bones, man, because they ain't going to tell you Russia firepower, Russia missiles is way more advanced, man. This guy right here, Michael Maloof, he done said it many times over, man. I done did videos on it last year 4 last, man. Russia had way more missiles than North America, man. And they way more powerful, man. But they ain't gonna tell you that. They ain't gonna say it. But we know, man, the Lord has his spirit in everything, man. And if the prophecies say that Russia is going to be a guard to the other nations, Russia is going to be a guard to the other nations, man.
You don't use outside
See what it is? Hey, they don't want the people to panic, man. Hey, they don't want the people to panic. How we got the best technology over here, as the people going to be saying, but Russia got the best missiles? They don't want people to panic, man. RT News is controlled by the elites, man. That's why we have to take the meat from the bone, man.
not from non-NATO countries.
Do you think he cares about what NATO's rules are?
Not anymore, no, because he sees that he's been vilified, he's been sanctioned by the U.S. and also, but he has one leverage, and on Europe especially, and that's why they're not going to really come banging on him. And that is, he can let millions of Syrian refugees back into Europe. That's his leverage, and that's what I see. Why he is being able to get away with playing both sides, basically.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that question. I'm so glad you mentioned that he's able to play the United States and NATO, and while playing the Russians at the same time.
Well, he's going to be.
Should the Russians care? Hey, you want to buy our stuff? Great, here it is. As long as it's cash money, right?
Well, that's correct, and Erdogan's going to be meeting with President Putin next week, so and it's going to be fine. Notwithstanding their differences, that he's a NATO member, and the fact that they have differences over Syria.
It's almost a hot and cold relationship between Erdogan and Putin, isn't it? I mean, there's times when they seem like these two guys are going to work together, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, we don't.
Well, you have two strong personalities that happen to get along. It's the same reason why Trump wanted to belong to that little exclusive club. He likes power, he likes authority, and strong men, and both of them are very, very strong in their way. But one is not going to trip over the other and upset. I mean, Erdogan learned his lesson back in 2015.
Here's what I'm confused about. He already has NATO weapons. Erdogan has NATO weapons. He's had them forever.
Yeah.
Sure, he didn't get this new stealth Patriot
deal. And he
deal.
didn't get F-35 either.
And he's asking for those. That's $1.9 billion, apparently. He's not
going to get them.
I was going to ask. He's not going to get them now?
No.
By saying yes to the Russians, that's it? NATO's going to close the door on them?
He's been sanctioned. And because he has that S-400 system, he's always threatening to deploy it. And now he's talking about a second one. I think he's using it as a club against the United States against these sanctions.
And see, the audacity, man, the audacity of Babylon the Great, the audacity of Babylon the Great putting sanctions on these other countries for what, man? Abusing their power, man. Well, that's gonna come to an end, man. Let me read this again. This is Jeremiah 51 and 24. It reads, "And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants and unto all the Salakia, but I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all that evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua." That's why it's a beautiful thing to be here to see these things play out, man. He said that these devils had done in Zion, man. Hey, putting your hands on the apples of the Lord's eye, hey, you gonna pay, man. Verse 25 reads, "Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh." What is the greatest destroying mountain on the earth? North America, Babylon the Great, man. "But I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh, which destroys all the earth," man. There's only one nation. There's only one nation of people that's destroying the entire planet, man. And it's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Period, man. Go check the track record, man. 222 years out of 239 have they been in war and pillaging and plundering the earth, man. Why? Because their blessing wants to live by the sword, man. They can do what they want. As it says in Psalm 73 and 5, it say they are not in trouble as other men, right? Neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, violence compasses them. Matter of fact, let's read that, man. So when you go back to Genesis 4, matter of fact, let me get that. Jacob, you got people always talking about Esau is Arab. Or no, he ain't, man. Or Ishmael. No, he's Esau, man. He's the seed line of the serpent, man. Esau is Cain reincarnated, man. This is Genesis 4. This is Genesis 4 in verse 15. Reading this point, man. This is how you know who this devil is today, man. This is Genesis 4 and 15. "And the Lord Yahweh said unto him," he talking to Cain right now. Matter of fact, And this is Genesis 4 and 13. And Cain said unto the Lord Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from the face, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Why? Because the Lord put put that leprosy on him, man. It say, and the Lord Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. Meaning you can't touch him. You can't touch him. Why? Because the Lord got a prophecy on him that he shall be revealed in his time, man. You can't touch him. You can't do nothing to this devil. Let him go. Let the little albino just run. And that's why I tell you that Cain took his wife and he dwelled in the land of Nod. The word Nod means to wander, man. Why does it mean wander? He's a fugitive and a vagabond. And everywhere he go at, what does he bring? Confusion and death, man. We know who Cain is, man. It's Esau Edom, man. You people out here don't understand these scriptures, man. We dealing with the serpent seed line, man, which is Esau Edom, man. The seed line of Cain, man. It say, and the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain. So who is the Lord talking to? Was he just, well, if it wasn't nobody that's in the garden, that's a whole nother thing. Who was the Lord talking to? The Lord was telling the nations, don't put your hands on them. You can't touch them. I got a special judgment for him. He's going to run through the earth and be a fugitive and a vagabond, man, because that's his blessing. It say, and the Lord Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. We can't touch him. That's why Jake talking about they want to get guns and you can't tap into this devil blessing, man. The Edomites can't tap into the Israelites blessing, and the Israelites can't tap into the Edomites blessing. Period, man. That's their lot. Hey, it's a go fix, man, between Esau and Israel, man. You can't tap into theirs, and they can't tap into, they are carnal minded, and we spiritual, man. It say, and the Lord Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever shall slay Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon him, which he took his pigment away, lest any find him should kill him. Because you see, you know, it's a bunch of melanated people in the world, and you see a little albino, a little leprous person running through the earth, you're gonna try to chase out them and kill them, man. The Lord say, don't touch them, man. Why? Because he had to fulfill his lot and be the left hand of the Lord, man. He the sword of the Lord. His lot was to be the wicked of the earth, destroy the planet. I read Jeremiah 51:25. It say, the destroying mountain which destroyeth all the earth. The Chinese ain't destroying the earth. The Japanese is not destroying the earth. The Arabs is not destroying the earth, man. These Pakistani, these Iranians, they are not destroying the earth. The Hamites, the so-called Africans, is not destroying the earth, man. It's only one nation of people that's destroying the earth, that's been a fugitive and a vagabond and been wandering around the world since they've been in rulership, man. Destroying the earth, man. This is plain. For you dummies out there talking about Esau is Japhet, Esau is Ishmael. You peoples is stupid, man. But we know what's going on. We in the know. Call out Yahweh Shema Shah for that, man. Nah, the Lord said he put a mark on Cain and he put a hedge around him. Whosoever shall slay Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him. So when Jake try to go and do their own thing, and they try to, you can't mess with these devils, man. This is now this is what Lamech said. This is Genesis 4 and 21 and Genesis 4 and 23. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. This is him being proud in his speech. This is Lamech being proud. He say, verse 24, if Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. This is him being proud because he's the seed line of Cain, and can't nobody touch him, man. They can't be touched, man. It's not for us to touch them. Our job is to condemn these devils, let them know, him and the rest of these heathens, that they go into captivity, man. Our job is not to touch these devils, man. We destroying them through the word, man. They hurt right now. That's why I tell you in Ecclesiastes 12:3, the keepers of the house shall tremble, man. That's why this devil talking about if you got any family members, that's in these radical groups, point them out. Oh, these hardcore groups, if they don't take the Jabberwocky, listen, man, because they it's a saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. That's a lie. I don't know who came up with that, but it's a lie. Because words do hurt. Words break bones, man. I just say in Hosea 6:5, the Lord said he have healed the world by his prophets and his words, man. Hebrews 4:12, man. It's the words of Yahweh Shema Shai that's destroying the earth, man. That's condemning this place. That's why it's crumbling and folding up like aluminum foil, man. Because the words of Yahweh Shema Shai is going forth, man. Now, I had to read those two precepts to get to this. You can't mess with these devils, man. They have a special judgment from Yahweh Shema Shai. This is Psalm 7:3-5. They are not in trouble. Matter of fact, I'm going to read one so you understand what's going on. And Adam knew Eve. Oh, Salakia. Hold on. Now I got two scriptures mixed in one. I don't know my phone do this. This is Psalm 73:5. Psalm 73:3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. Why? Because this is their blessing. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Why does it say violence cover this devil as a garment? Because that's their lot to be the wicked of the earth, man. That's their lot. They don't know no other way, man. They don't know no other way. If they can't get you with the physical sword, he wetting his tongue like a sword, man. Even bitter words. Psalm 94:20, right? They frame mischief by laws, man. Isaiah 10:1. Woe to him that decree unrighteous decrees. If this devil can't get you with the physical sword, then he wetting his tongue. He passing laws to get you, man. Because this is their world. This is their lot to be the wicked of the earth, man. This is Obadiah. See, this devil got a special judgment, man. The Lord don't want you to touch him. That's the whole point of the Lord saying his sins have reached into heaven and his iniquities have been fulfilled, man. And Luke 21:24, right? It say Israel shall be trodden out of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled, man. This devil iniquities, hey, the Lord, hey, the same we were talking about this account the other week. The same way the Lord did the Canaanites, right? He let their iniquities be fulfilled, and then we went in there and took the land, man. But the Lord, this is how the Lord worked. He worked through long suffering, measurements of time, man. He let things play out, and then the angels go send the hit, man. Today is the day. Just like Egypt, man. The warnings was all sent. Like right now, in ancient Egypt, there was warnings. You saw the warnings, all the plagues played out, the 10 plagues, right? And then came destruction and deliverance. Just like Babylon the Great, man. All the signs is being played out right now, man. All the pestilences, all these things playing out, and then gonna come to destruction and salvation, man. Nothing different under the sun with Yahweh Shema Shai, man. The same things are playing out, man. This is Obadiah, chapter 1 and 7. It reads, all the men, when they say all the men, the guy you heard, the guy, it's 193 nations just joined to North America, man. And they all is gonna separate from her, man. And do what? Burn her with fire. Revelation 17:16. You don't believe me? Go read it yourself. I just read Isaiah 13:17. He said he's gonna stir up the Medes. Russia and Iran is gonna be the main two countries to set this place on fire, man. Why? Because of prophecy. In Daniel 7, it tells you that the Medo and Persian Empire took down ancient Babylon, which is the same two nations It's gonna take us down again, while all the other allies join to them, man. Everybody gonna join to Russia. Russia connected with Iran, and all the other nations is gonna fall in line, man. China, Turkey, everybody, man. It's prophecy. It gotta happen this way because the Lord said so, man. This is Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of that confederacy. Hey, when you go back and read Psalms 83, what did it say? Let's read it just to make the point. This is Psalms 83. Obadiah 1, Obadiah 1 and 7 say, all the men of that confederacy have brought thee to the border. To do what? What you do at a border? Hey, you standing toe to toe and you ready to box. That's what it is, man. This is Psalms 83 in verse 2. For lo, that's why the Lord said he's gathering these nations, man. What is that? You got Zechariah, Zephaniah 3, right? His determination is to gather the nations, right? All we gotta do is wait on the Lord, man. It's his determination to gather the nations. Why? Because Psalms 83, these devils came together to take us down, man. They put their hands on the apple of the Lord's eye. Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They who, all 17 heathen nations, have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against the hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they who, all 17 heathen nations, have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. That's the word I'm looking for. Confederate. All these nations is confederate against you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, U.S. Indian Haitians. Well, guess what? The same nations that's confederate against us, the Lord is finna turn them against Esau, Edom, man. And he's gonna use his main brothers, his other brothers, the Russians, to do so. It's Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. To do what? To go to war. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Why? Because it said, Revelation 17 and 17, until the word, they shall get a kingdom to the beast and be one mind until the words of Yahweh Shemawashah shall be fulfilled, man. So the Lord got them playing their role to agree and disagree, but at the end of the day, they agreeing until, hey, until they got their missile defense systems all together, man. Joel 3, right? Beat your plowshares in the swords and your pruning hooks in the spears, man. Let the weak say, we are strong. And that's what's going on, man. The Lord is building these other nations up, man, to prepare them to join with Russia to destroy Babylon the Great, man. It say, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. That is showing you this is future prophecy that North America will be burning. From who? Everybody else, man. It say the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. Every nation sell their goods here, man. Especially China. And they going against China right now, man. It say they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Why? Because their pride is too high and they can't see past their own shadow, man. Well, that's about to come to naught, man. That's about to come to naught, man. This is Revelation chapter 9 and verse 12. It reads, one woe is past, and behold, there'll come two woes more hereafter. Right? Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. What's this third woe? What are these three woes? World War One, two, and three, man. And the third one is brewing up, man. This is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. It reads, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. So in the ancient time, they fought, lining up on both sides of the field and charging out at each other with swords, shields, daggers, spears, right? Charging out at each other on horses or running. For every battle, the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. This is how they fought. When you watch movies like Troy, this is how they fought in ancient time. But this, what's the this? World War III shall be with burning and fuel of fire, man. Burning from what? Fuel of fire from what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. We keep telling you, man. Just get this. This is Second Peter. 2 Peter 3 and 10. It reads, but the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. What noise? Those intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. ICBMs. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. What's made with elements? Everything that you see on a daily basis. The highway, sidewalk, cars, buildings, us. Elements, man. Everything is made with elements. It say, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. What can melt everything on the planet, man? What can melt everything away? The missiles burn over 1,000,000 degrees, man. They tell you, so-called tell you, when the planes hit the trade center, the people was jumping from the 95th floor, man. From the 95th floor, you rather jump and lose your life than to burn up. They said that jet fuel oil was hot, man. The missiles is a million times when they dropped them atomic bomb, Fat Man and Little Boy in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. It was so hot it left the shadows on the buildings, man. On whatever was left, man. People's shadows was burnt, man, into the buildings, in the ground. That's how hot it was, man. And they showed you. I was watching this documentary when they dropped the bomb, and they were showing they had like this bus, and how the vacuum seal from the missiles peeled the paint off the bus, man. Stripped it down to as if it was on the assembly line, man. Can you imagine what these intercontinental missiles gonna do, man? It say, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. What's going to destroy everything on the planet? Where it's going to be left as a wilderness, like it's going to look like the Sahara Desert over here in North America, Babylon the Great, man. What can do that, man? Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye ought to be in all holy conversation, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of power, Yahweh Shema Bashah, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. They tell you that in Malachi 4 and 1, man. The day come that shall burn as an oven, man. What can do this? Missiles. This is Revelation chapter 9 and verse 16. It reads, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, which is 200 million. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jasper, and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, talking about the war heads from the missiles. And out of their mouths issue fire and smoke and brimstone. This is not talking about literal horses. By these three was the third part of men killed. Third part of men is Esau, Edom. You got the sons of God, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked, man. That's talking about Esau, Edom. The third part of men being killed. It reads, by the smoke, by the fire, and by the brimstone, which issue out of their mouths. For the power is in their mouth, the warheads, and in their tails. Why? Because the missiles get propelled, man. For their tails were like unto serpents, meaning the smoke trail that the missiles going to leave as it gets shot off, and had heads, which are the warheads, and with them they do hurt. This is describing intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. And as we always go into, Joel 2 said Joel and John the Revelator saw the same vision of the missiles, man. This is Joel 2 and 4. It reads, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. John the Revelator said the same thing I just read in Revelation 9 and 16. He said the same thing, man. The horses had horsemen on it. They looked like horses with horsemen on fire. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses. The appearance of what? The missiles, man. It say like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap. Top of what mountains? Hey, wherever the Lord have them destroy these governments and kingdoms, these nations, they're gonna fall on them, man. It say like the noise of a flame of a fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. I just read this in Isaiah 9 and 5, right? It's a light, it's a as a strong people set in battle array, but it's not, it's missiles. Before their face, the people shall be much pain. It should say, hey, men's hearts shall melt, man. When you read Isaiah 13, right, starting at verse 5 and read down, it tell you how men's hearts are going to melt, man. Going, hey, because of the missiles, man. People gonna be having heart attacks when they see these missiles go off, man. When you watch the movie, what is that? Terminator 2. And you got the other one. Is it Terminator 3? I think it is. And the missile got shot off, and everybody saw the missiles getting shot off. It say, before their face, the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. When they get shot at them silos, hey, they're going to hit their target, man. One upon another, and they shall not thrust. It say right here, neither shall one thrust another. When you go back into when I read Isaiah 95, when they used to fight in the ancient time, hey, when you fighting amongst a lot of people, you can very well stab one of your own men that you in battle with, man. These would not thrust another, man, because they all going to get shot to where once they leave them silos, they go into their targets, man. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not break. They shall when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Hey, when they hit and that smoke, man, that fire is going to devour everything, man. They shall enter into the windows like a thief. Meaning what? Quick. Quick, man. And then you got the vacuum seal. It say, the earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, shall be dark. Why? Because of the mushroom clouds, man. And the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is great and very terrible. And who can abide it? The only one's gonna be able to stand in this is nobody. Nobody, man. This is Jeremiah 50. This is Jeremiah 50 and 23 and 25. It reads, matter of fact, Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. I'll read this point. It reads, verse 25. The Lord have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, power of hosts in the land of Chaldeans. What are the weapons of the Lord's indignation? What kind of weapons would the Lord use to destroy the earth, to leave? Let's say all the elements shall melt with fervent heat. This is Isaiah 54 and 16. And this is only for the ones that's in the know. This is not for low level Jake. Isaiah 54 and 16 reads, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his works. And I, who, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, have created the waster to destroy. What's a waster? Intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. And we seeing them all day, every day in the news, man. This is what's popping off. This is Joel 3. This is Joel 3 and 9. It reads, Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Be your plowshares and the swords, and your pruning hooks and the spears. Plowshares and pruning hooks are tools used for agriculture. The Lord is saying, forget that. Stop using your money to produce crops and take your money and invest in missile defense systems. Be your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And the weak have became strong, man. Everybody got missiles now. Everybody got missiles. So the Lord is getting these nations to gather up missiles to do what? To be a defense behind Gog and Magog, man. This is Ezekiel 38 and 1. It reads, And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. The Lord is against them too, but he's going to use Russia to destroy this place, man. And it say, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. What is this talking about? Soviet Union, man. That old Cold War mentality, man. That old Cold War mind state, man. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. You heard him say it. The old Cold War, man. This is what coming, man. And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, missiles. It's a Persia. Who is Persia? Iran, man. Iran, the Medo-Persian Empire today is Russia and Iran, man. Same nation that took down ancient Babylon, man. Same nation that's going to take down Babylon the Great today, man. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. All of them with shield and helmet. It's a Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters. This is Turkey, man. Turkey is going to join with Putin, man, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, which Russia is prepared and they ready, man. And it's only going to advance, man. Thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. These nations is going to join Russia and destroy North America from off the planet, man. If you can't receive it, hey, it's not for you, man. I don't went long enough. Lord, what is edifying? Gotta give all praise and glory to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Bahashem Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, ready accepted or not. In the sense of salutation to all the occupants pushing this truth and believing this truth toward the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the wife who are listening learning, their few sisters who are listening learning. Lord, what is edifying to next time I say shalom. Wa abba ball. So while for tuning in, may you how about Shema Shah continue to bless you in your houses, stay prayed up. Hey, the while for the precepts too, man. Y'all brother got all the fire precepts on the comment board, man. Hey, but they there for ones that come after. The water for the precepts, man. Y'all brother lit it up. I'm just scrolling through, letting these precepts. The water, man. Matter of fact, let's read this. This is Kazak Ben Yehuda. Lamentation 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. And as the Lord saying, which I saw the brother put it up, Jeremiah 49. The Lord make Esau bare, man. Why? Because you put your hands on the apples of the Lord eye, man, which are the Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. You should have never did it, man. As I tell you in Zechariah 1 and 15, you devils went overboard what you did to us, man. Lamentation 4 and 22, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And they're being reached up to heaven now, man. Because this devil is the same devil from Genesis 4, man. The fugitive and vagabond that have a mark upon him, man, which is him having no pigment, lack pigment and lack melanin. So his blood shall forth through his skin, which give him different shades of red and pink, man. We know who you are, man. You have 2 Thessalonians 2 and 6. He have been revealed in his time, man. Hey, as a matter of fact, the brothers put that precept. Let me get this. Let me read this. Maybe you put it up. Isaiah. Let me get this. Isaiah 47 and 11. It reads, it's Isaiah 47 and 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. You ain't gonna be able to put it off, man. You ain't gonna know about it. You ain't gonna be able to put it off, man. It's gonna come. Oh, let me get this other one. Jeremiah 50. Let's get this one. It's Jeremiah 50 and 24. Matter of fact, Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? The Lord say, how? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. You ain't gonna know when, man. And see, that's why I keep saying this. These devils know they're going down. They know they're gonna be destroyed. So their job is to take many of you Israelites down as possible, man. They know they're going down. They just don't know when or how, but they know they're going down, man. They just don't know when or how. And that's why I say Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, the keepers of the house tremble, because they know the histories, man. Every nation that went down, the Lord sent his messengers out to warn Israel to repent before it goes down, man. Hey, the water for tuning in, the water for your precepts. But yeah, how about Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses? Stay prayed up, man. Shalom, wa abba.